What does it take to achieve a world record? To go through hell and make your way up to Heaven's Gate, and all of it on electricity alone. 4 wheels, 2 powerful electric motors, and a reliable driver capable of controlling this power on any track. As the driver of the ID.R, Romain Dumas turned 2019 into a milestone for the development of electromobility. With him, the ID.R became the fastest electric car on the Nordschleife of the Nürburgring and faster than a Formula One car at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Finally, Dumas also set a new track record at Tianmen Mountain. It was cold in Zell am See at the ice race when Volkswagen made the announcement back in January. Romain Dumas will drive the ID.R through the Green Hell, the legendary Nordschleife, the toughest racetrack in the world.
Bike speed for me was already a big dream, but on top of that now, Nordschleife, I won many times the 24, but it will be the first time for me on a prototype there. So, how you can imagine that, driving in Nordschleife with a prototype at such speed, so I'm really looking forward.
About 6 months ago, Volkswagen's first fully electric racing car celebrated its premiere at Pikes Peak in the Rocky Mountains. The goal was to break the electric record, but the ID.R was faster than any conventional car before it and even pulverized the track record. Mission accomplished, in more ways than one.
I think we've proved that electric cars can be passionate, that it's fantastic to see them drive, and that it's probably the future that we all have to go through.
You've made motoring history today.
Yeah, I know, but it will take some time to let it sink through.
The beginning of a success story. To this day, Romain Dumas and the ID.R are undefeated.
I mean, if we are thinking a little, just 1.5 years ago, when we start, to think about doing a real prototype completely electric. For me, I knew prototypes from Le Mans, LMD1, and so on, but I have no idea about what could be a really fast electric car. And personally, it changed also completely my mind. Went straight, we drove the car in Alès the first time, and I went on power, and I realized how powerful the car is, But when we came to Pikes Peak, that was really definitely the place that I realized that the car, in terms of power, is like a rocket.
A rocket with impressive acceleration, from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.25 seconds. Thanks to its all-wheel drive and lightweight construction with a monocoque and a carbon shell, the ID.R accelerates faster than a Formula One car. One of the special features of the ID.R is that it has no gearbox. About 9 months have passed since the ID.R's triumph at Pikes Peak. Now, Dumas is in Almeria to kick off the Nordschleife mission. The Pikes Peak track is about 20 kilometers long, almost the same as the Nordschleife. But the challenges of a circular track are very different from those of a mountain race. With a series of test drives in Spain, the team explores the intricacies of the task. Every kilometer of the track helps improve their understanding of electromobility. They have 3 months till the next record attempt.
I mean, we got first some help of people that were already building the ID because it was new for us, but very quickly we took over and then we have produced this car. Now we are a little bit of a pioneer, I would say a laboratorium for e-technology to try different things, and with the things that we have in mind to do maybe in the future, we have become a little bit of a showcase, and we try to push boundaries, and of course that's what we see, what we get back as data now flows to Wolfsburg.
For the record attempt on the Nürburgring, the ID.R needs a completely new energy management system and a new aerodynamics setup. That's a difficult task for Hervé Deschipres, the person responsible for the ID.R's aerodynamics. At Pikes Peak, it was all about cornering speed, while top speed was less of a concern. During the record attempt on the Nordschleife, on the other hand, Dumas will reach speeds of up to 270 kilometers per hour.
Now on the Nordschleife, the target or the challenge is different because you have a much higher average speed, and you are at a lower level. So, which means that in this case, the drag plays also a much more important role.
At the Porsche wind tunnel in Weissach, the car faces winds up to 300 kilometers per hour. The track underneath the car also moves, making the simulation even more realistic. Testing conditions like these are hard to come by in the rest of the world. A modified underbody, a new front spoiler, and a redesigned rear wing were introduced to reduce drag. The rear wing is 2.35 meters wide and fitted with a technology called DRS, which the engineers borrowed from the world of Formula One racing. At the touch of a button, this system lowers drag by 20%. The ID.R needs to achieve higher speeds while coping with higher drag. Hervé de Chypre needs to find a solution to this challenge. He has been splitting his time between working on the computer and the car itself with the aim of creating perfect aerodynamics by improving the smallest details.
Basically, this big line is one we really try to create, so that's why we have this dive plate on the front of the car, exactly to create these vortices. The flow on the car is not trying to expand, but it's keeping around the car, which will help to reduce the drag of the car.
In France, the engineers want to find out if the ID.R's aerodynamics concept will work. The Paul Ricard racetrack is the ideal place for high-speed testing.
Paul Ricard is well known for the long straight, so we are mostly to test to adapt the battery management and energy management for the long straight of Nürburgring.
As with the record run at Pikes Peak, time is a precious resource. 6 months is all the time the team has to prepare the high-tech racer for the run on the Nordschleife, with the aim of beating the electric record.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we see it for the very first time, the new ID.R.
6 weeks to go until the record attempt. The endeavor is tangible now, and it's taking shape. After only 6 months of development, Volkswagen presents the new ID.R, highlighting the changes that were made since Pikes Peak and showing how the car will conquer the green hell.
If you come to this racetrack and you can do it here, then you can do it everywhere, they say. So we took this as the next challenge for the car and for an electric race car.
We have to check mostly the battery management strategy and then the setup of the car. I mean, it's so specific that you can only... Okay, we did some work on the simulator, but now it's time to put Roma in the car and drive and check that everything which has been simulated and tested before are right, and prepare the car and the team for the time attack.
The Nürburgring with its infamous Nordschleife. This track has seen electric cars before, but none like the ID.R. An extreme sports car with 500 kilowatts of power, 680 horsepower, built to break records. An extreme sports car with 500 kilowatts of power, 680 horsepower, built to break records. The record at hand is 6 minutes and 45 seconds, established by Peter Dumbreck and his electric car about 2 years ago. Now at the wheel is Romain Dumas. The Frenchman has been a Porsche factory driver for many years. He has run marathons and loves long-distance racing. To him, tracks like Pikes Peak or the Nordschleife are sprints more than anything else. The day after the world premiere, he is out on the track for his first laps.
Enjoy this moment, you know, when you are in such a quiet environment with electric power, no noise, just alone on the track like that, it's great fun. Normally, can hear a lot of noise, a lot of when you jump and land, you know, you always have some noise inside the car and so on. Now it's very smooth, very quiet. It's quite surprising, so you also have to adapt the speed, you know, to your view, to your vision.
He is one of the masterminds behind the project, Stéphane Folio. A performance data engineer collecting and analyzing data from the car, like the speed in certain locations and the associated power drain.
You can both analyze, trying to advise the driver what is the best way to drive the car, and also to develop and to understand how the battery will react what will be the performance in this part of the track, can we save energy there and can we use it a bit later?
At the heart of the ID.R are two large lithium-ion batteries. One is located behind Romain Dumas, the other right next to him. With 915 volts of power, two electric motors drive the front and rear axles separately. In other words, the ID.R has an all-wheel drive. The battery must be charged quickly. That's important in regular cars and even more so in racing cars because it allows Romain Dumas to save precious time between test runs. Charging takes about 20 minutes with two rapid charging systems providing a combined output of 90 kilowatts. A normal domestic power outlet, on the other hand, supplies only 2.3 kilowatts, while so-called wall boxes are rated at 22 kilowatts.
All
of the experience we are gathering here with the simulation of batteries, battery cells, and entire battery systems is very interesting to a lot of people. We profit from experiences made with production cars, and conversely, they benefit from the things we do. The battery in the ID.R is still the same one used at Pikes Peak. But as technology progresses, the battery gets better at using energy more efficiently. And exactly that will make the difference on the Nürburgring. The optimum charging process before the race and energy recuperation during the race. When the ID.R brakes, it recuperates energy just like any other electric car. And this energy is desperately needed because the car will need the full power output of 500 kilowatts till the end of the race, so that Dumas can go full throttle as he speeds towards the finish line. The engineers have run this scenario in the computer 100 times.
When you're in a simulation, you have always the perfect tires and always the perfect track condition. So on a race day, you are actually a little bit dependent on how is the track. Is it completely dry or a little bit damp? How is the vision for the driver? So it's a lot of parameters that explain why we got a little bit less performance out of the car on a day.
The weather is one of the unpredictable factors on the Nürburgring and can be very changeable. And in case of rain, the ID.R would be unable to perform.